Let's take a look at a basic C# program. Now, for those of you guys that follow the Java course, which you better have followed the Java course, this looks very, very familiar to you. Look at this, Brian.
Yeah. You got your class declaration, your main method.
Right. We have our class declaration, and then inside of our main class declaration, we have our main method, which just like in Java and also technically in C, C++, this is going to be our entry point to the application. And inside of the main method, what we're doing is we're calling the console object, which is encapsulated inside of the system namespace. And on this is a static method called writeLine. And this static method takes in a list of parameters. In this case, we're just passing in a string that just says the text, "Hey, buddy."
Hey, buddy.
So as I said a second ago, this system is a namespace. Console is a class that we're evoking inside of that namespace. writeLine is a static method inside of that class.
Yep.
And then "Hey, buddy" is the argument that we're passing to that method.
Very cool. I mean, that's about as clean as you can get.
It's so beautiful it makes me cry. Now, Brian, let's talk about how we actually compile and execute our "Hey, buddy" program.
So when we're doing it from the command line, now we'll show you this in the lab, but this is once you have the .NET framework installed.
Yes, of course.
You get the C# compiler, which is csc.exe, and all you do is you just call csc.exe and pass in the parameter, which is the name of the file that contains your public static void main entry point, right?
Yes.
Which is heybuddy.cs. So when you just call that with the parameter, it then produces you your intermediate code file. So from that point on, once you run that, and that intermediate code file is an executable, and like we said before,
assembly.
Right, but it's an exe file.
Right.
And so when you call that exe file, it'll invoke the runtime and fire off. So we get our console output of "Hey, buddy," just like we'd expect. Now, if that's not the cleanest thing I've ever seen, I don't know what is.
So let's talk, Brian, a little bit about prereqs. Now, you mentioned a little bit ago, we do expect you guys to have followed the C introduction at OOP, C++ and Java. Objective-C would be good just because it kind of takes you through the entire course outline. But in order for you to truly get the most out of this course, we want you guys to follow the Whippet.net course structure just because it was all purposefully done this way to make Java and C# easier for you to learn.
Right, and our goal is never to teach you a language. Our goal is to really teach you how to be a developer.
Yep, exactly.
And those are two very different things.
We want you to be successful. We don't want you to be a guy that just picks up a project.
A language, right, exactly.
We want you to be able to walk into any situation and be the rock star. That's what we want.
Right, and if sometimes companies don't do well, and oftentimes developers tend to have lots of jobs over their careers.
Mm-hmm.
And so if the company that you're working for doesn't do so well for a little while, and you need to sort of adapt and roll your way into some other place, we want to make sure that you're ready, flexible, and robust enough to kind of handle that, whatever those transitions are. And by being a good developer and not just somebody who can use a language, you'll always stay flexible and be able to roll with new technology, absorb new languages, and just, always keep on moving, which is really what we want you to get out of this.
Absolutely. So, Brian, our journey of C# begins right
now. That's awesome.